Saikyou Onmyouji episode 3, and I have to say that the episodes keep getting better and better. This episode was the clear demonstration of that because the first episodes were really great, were really hype. They had a lot of things, but this episode was on another level. The amount of action, the amount of new characters, the amount of things we saw in this episode were a lot, which again made the episode a whole lot better than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I'm really surprised that this anime has been this good. I didn't know it was going to be this good. In fact, when I made the first episode review, I made it like a couple of days later, like 6 or 7 days, because I didn't even knew that this anime existed. I didn't even knew that it was going to be this good. But 3 episodes in already, and I have to say it's one of the better ones that I'm watching this season. I don't know if it will keep going like that until the end, because being consistent throughout the whole 12, 11, 13 episodes it lasts is really hard, but at the very least, I can say that the first 3 episodes have been really great. And finally, in this episode, we get to see our main protagonist in the academy. We finally get to see him, be in the academy, interact, and have I guess you can say, student life, which was something that was teased in the last episode. In the last episode was only just like a little tease of what was coming up. In this episode was the start of that. Although we didn't see that much of his student life, we already saw him in the academy. We already saw him, do sort of student things, which is something that I like because I always like when a student of magic is in an academy and he's the strongest one but doesn't want to show it, which is exactly what this anime is all about. And I guess you can say the most important thing that we found out in this episode is that of Amu being the hero. We found out from the metal devil, the metal demon, whatever he's called, that she's actually the hero, which actually makes sense because she's really strong. No normal human can be like that. We saw how in the beginning of the episode she used all the 6 elements, the 4 main ones, and also dark and light. And yeah, she blew basically all the targets up. We also saw Seika and Eva also destroy the targets. Pretty funny how Eva actually did better than Seika in the, I guess you can say, the testing of the abilities. Yeah, she actually did better, and Seka was all, kind of hurt because of that. And Seka mentioned that he didn't know if he could actually use dark and light, but I bet he could because he can use yin and yang, which I think it is the equivalent of using dark and light. But in a way, it is not exactly the same because Seka for starters doesn't even use magic, so yeah. And also, there is a lot of difference between his sort of powers or whatever his exorcist powers are and magic in general. We also saw how Eva actually can use wind magic. It is not surprising. It was teased in the last episode that she could do that, but it was surprising because she actually could use it in a very powerful way. So yeah, we also got to see that, I guess you can say, little sadistic side of Seika, which is that he is not the same person that he was when he died in the last world, in which he was taken advantage of, in which he was betrayed. We see that he's not actually that person. He's the person that will actually use other people. We see him say that he's going to use Amen, that he's going to be the one that is in the shadows controlling everyone, really actually the strongest one. And there's going to be another apparent strongest one, which is going to be, in this case, Amu. He said that he is going to protect her, but if she dies or anything happens to her, he's not really going to, feel anything because she's just that a tool. I don't think that will actually happen. I think in the future, if she does get hurt or anything happens to her, I actually think that he will actually care for her. But we can see that he has a sadistic side, an evil side, if you can call it like that, shown in this episode. And yeah, we see Amo as actually really strong. She defeated a couple of demons, devils in this episode. And of course, I don't think she's as strong as Seka because Seka defeated the main boss, but she is really strong. Who knows, maybe she gets some training, she could actually become stronger than Seika. I doubt it, but I guess that is actually a possibility. So yeah, really great episode in terms of everything that happened. A lot of action, a lot of cool tense moments, a lot of character development. We got introduced a little bit more into Amu, and although we didn't see exactly Amu and Eva and Seika interact, that will not be for very long because I think in the next episode that will actually happen. I actually wanted to see that happen in this episode, but that didn't happen. The only interaction we have had of them two 2 is in the last episode. So yeah, in this episode, although it didn't happen, it still gave us a lot of great moments between Seika. If Amu, we see that Amu actually became the student representative, I guess you can call her that. And Seika says that that is actually not a good position to be in because he knows perfectly well that being the strongest doesn't actually mean that people will respect. In fact, it will only attract more hatred to you. It will only get more eyes on you. People will try to beat you. People will be jealous of you. And yeah, that is the reason why Seika wants to be the character that is in the background, using Amu and things of that nature. And yeah, Amu is going to be the one that is the apparent strongest one. I don't know if Amu will ever get to find out that actually Seika is really strong. I think she will, only her, and the rest of them will actually think that Seika is weak or not that strong and just that. Or maybe a little bit strong, but just that. I think it will stay the fact that actually Amu is the strongest without them all knowing that Seika is actually the mastermind. Maybe, like I said already, Effa and Amu are going to be the only ones that know. It is a little bit sad in a way that Seika is not actually going to demonstrate to the world that he's actually really strong and things like that. But at the same time, it actually gives us a lot of storytelling because a lot of things can come from him being the apparent weak character. But yeah, I think that is everything important that happened in the episode. I hope, like I say always, that I didn't miss anything important. But yeah, I guess that is my episode review. And I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.